Today, we're diving into an absolute icon of summer, style, and, let's be honest, a little bit of scandal, the bikini. But it's way more than just something you wear to the beach. It's a whole story of cultural shifts, amazing technological breakthroughs, and a ton of controversy, all packed into a tiny bit of fabric.
I know, it sounds like the beginning of a really weird joke, right? But the answer connects the dawn of the atomic age with athletic gear from 2,000 years ago. And believe it or not, it all comes together in the story of the bikini. So yeah, stick with me on this one.
All right, so here's how we're going to connect all those dots. First, we'll look at what came before the bikini, its surprising ancient roots. Then we'll get into the atomic swimsuit, and you'll see why it's called that. We'll track its wild ride from total scandal to a wardrobe staple, break down all the styles you see today, and finally, look at its role in the world now, way beyond the beach.
Okay, so to really get the modern bikini, we've got to go back, like way, way back. Because the whole idea of a two-piece garment for women, it's not nearly as new as you might think.
Okay, get this. We're looking at Roman mosaics from the 4th century. And what do you see? Women exercising in something that looks almost exactly like a modern bikini. The top was a strophium, kind of a bandeau, and the bottom a subligar. But here's the twist. This was basically their version of workout clothes. It was performance sportswear, not for lounging by the pool.
And the technological leap from them to now is, well, it's mind-blowing. In the 19th century, swimwear was a full-on dress made of wool that got incredibly heavy and saggy when it got wet. They literally had to sew weights into the hems just to keep it from floating up around you. Now, compare that to today's high-tech, quick-drying fabrics that feel like a second skin. It's a complete revolution.
All right, let's fast forward to the post-war period, a time of huge change, where two massive explosions, one very real and one totally cultural, were about to change beachwear forever.
So you're going to want to remember this date, July 5th, 1946. This is it, the official birthday of the modern bikini, when it was first shown to a pretty stunned Parisian public.
And the name? Bikini? Yeah, that was no accident. The inventor, a French engineer named Louis Rare, named his tiny creation after the Bikini Atoll. You know, the place where the US had just been testing atomic bombs. He was not trying to be subtle at all.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He chose that name because, and I quote, he hoped the design would cause an explosive commercial and cultural reaction. Talk about a marketing strategy, right? It was designed to be a shockwave from the very beginning.
So what was the big deal? What made it so scandalous? It all came down to one little detail, the navel, the belly button. Before this, two-piece swimsuits kept the midriff covered, but Riard's design was the first to show it off. It was considered so risque that no regular fashion model would dare wear it. He actually had to hire a casino dancer, Micheline Bardadini, just to get someone to model it.
So how does something go from being literally banned on beaches in Europe to being in, well, almost everyone's summer wardrobe? It took a perfect mix of Hollywood stardust and some serious tech innovation.
You really see two big things pushing the bikini into the mainstream. First, you've got Hollywood. Movie stars like Brigitte Bardot made it look impossibly chic, and then of course, that unforgettable moment with Ursula Andress in Dr. No. That basically cemented it in pop culture forever. But at the same time, you had this huge technological leap with the invention of Spandex, and by the 80s, with shows like Baywatch and those high-cut styles, the bikini wasn't just accepted, it was the look.
And we really can't overstate how important Spandex was. I mean, this stuff was a complete game changer. It offered incredible stretch, it dried fast, and it held its shape. No more saggy, heavy wool. Honestly, without this invention, the sleek, form-fitting bikinis we have today, they just wouldn't be possible.
So that brings us to today. The word bikini now covers this huge, almost endless variety of styles. So let's break down the lingo so you know exactly what's what when you're looking for one.
All right, let's start up top. The bandeau? That's your strapless go-to, perfect for avoiding tan lines. The halter ties around your neck. It's a classic, really flattering shape. A push-up, well, it does exactly what you think, adding a little lift and shaping. The triangle top is that classic minimal string bikini look. And then you've got underwire styles, which give you that proper bra-like support. Basically, there's an engineering solution for every preference. And it's the same story with the bottoms. It's really all about how much coverage you want. You've got your fuller normal cut, which is that classic modest fit. Then there's cheeky for a little less coverage. Then you can go to the cheekiest or a thong for pretty much minimal tan lines. And of course, the high-waisted style has made a huge comeback, gives you more tummy coverage and that cool retro hourglass vibe.
But the story doesn't stop with just the style.
Today, the bikini is part of these much bigger conversations. We're talking sustainability, cultural norms, and just pure self-expression. One of the coolest things happening right now is in sustainability. You see fabrics like eco-no-nylon popping up everywhere. It's basically recycled nylon that's made from waste, including old fishing nets pulled right out of the ocean. It just goes to show you how the bikini's evolution is now tied to a bigger environmental consciousness.
And really, today, a bikini isn't just for swimming anymore, right? It's the main event of a whole outfit. Designers are playing with all kinds of textures, like crochet or mesh or ribbed fabrics. Those bright neon colors from the 80s are totally back, and the bikini is just one piece of the puzzle, paired with cover-ups, sarongs, dresses, the whole shebang. It's a full-on fashion statement.
And it's fascinating how its place in the world changes depending on where you are. Take Maracas Beach in Trinidad, for example. On the sand, bikinis are everywhere, totally normal. But there's a local custom. If you're going to walk over to the food stalls to get their famous bacon shark, you put on a cover-up. It's a great little example of how this global piece of fashion adapts to local etiquette.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, the bikini's journey has been absolutely incredible. I mean, it started as ancient Roman sportswear, was reborn as this scandalous atomic garment, and is now transformed into this global symbol of freedom, confidence, and personal style.
Its story has been shaped by technology, by media, and by our own changing ideas of modesty and empowerment. Which leaves us with one big question. What do you think is the next chapter in the story of this tiny but mighty piece of clothing?